Hello, in this video I am trying to explain the similarities between the teachings of Lord Buddha and the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna from Bhagavad Gita. Firstly, we will look at the main teachings of Lord Buddha. So, if we want to know about the main teachings of Lord Buddha, we have to know about something called the Four Noble Truths. So the Four Noble Truths were truths that were discovered by Lord Buddha after he attained Nirvana. The Four Noble Truths were the highest of Buddha's teachings, and if we understand these Four Noble Truths, we can understand the main teachings of Buddha. Buddhism is a very big religion with a lot of philosophy, but still these Four Noble Truths are the main essence of Buddhism. They are at the very core of Buddhism. This is why it is very important that we understand the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth of Buddha is that life itself is suffering. Anyone who is born in this world or samsara is suffering and will suffer. In the second noble truth, Buddha identifies the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering, according to Buddha, is our rampant desires to acquire the material things. It is our desire to have more and more. It is our ignorance of the fact that desire will lead us back in this world. That material goods will not give us what we are truly looking for. We are truly looking for peace. We are truly looking for nirvana, but we don't realize that, and we want to fulfill our incompleteness by acquiring material goods and by craving more and more and by seeking pleasure in this world. So the second noble truth basically identifies the fact that the source of our suffering is desires, and our desire to want more and more pleasure from this material world. This material world cannot give us what we are truly looking for. In the third noble truth, the Buddha explains how we can end our suffering. So in the first noble truth, the Buddha explains that we are suffering. In the second noble truth, the Buddha tells us the causes of our suffering. And in the third noble truth, the Buddha describes that in order to end our suffering, we have to attain nirvana. Now, what is nirvana? Nirvana is a state in which all your desires are completely destroyed. You are one with the source. You are one with the truth. You attain freedom from rebirth. You will not be born again. If you attain nirvana, you will be one with the gods. You will be your ego will be completely destroyed, and you will be one with Buddha himself. This same concept is known as moksha in Hinduism. So what Buddha is describing here is nirvana, and what the Hindus say is moksha. So nirvana and moksha are both the same thing. In the fourth noble truth, the Buddha tells us that in order to attain nirvana, in order to stop the suffering, we have to follow a certain path. And that certain path that we have to follow consists of 8 steps. That is why it is known as the Eightfold Path. If somebody follows these 8 steps, they will attain nirvana and they will be rid of suffering. And so what are the 8 steps? What are the Eightfold Path that was described by Buddha? The Eightfold Path consists of 8 steps. They are the following: right understanding, right thought, right speech, right actions, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So, what Buddha is basically describing is that you should live a good life, you should live a decent life. We should not harm people, we should live a good life, we should help others, we should have the right mindset, we should not try to acquire material things, we should not harm others for our personal gain, we should control our speech, we should take the right actions, we should not live a life that is self-centered, we should be of contribution to the community, we should read the scriptures, we should understand the mind, we should understand ourselves, we should know ourselves better, we should think good thoughts, and we should attempt to attain nirvana. So basically in the Eightfold Steps, in the fourth step, in the Fourth Noble Truth, what basically Buddha is saying is that we should live a decent life and we should attempt to attain nirvana. We should not waste this life, because this life gave us an opportunity and we can use that opportunity to attain nirvana. So we have seen the basics of Buddhism. Now we will try to understand the basics of Bhagavad Gita, and we will also try to understand the main teachings of Lord Sri Krishna. So the main teaching of Lord Sri Krishna is that desires are not good. Desires will lead to anger if those desires are not fulfilled. Desires, even if they are fulfilled, they will not give us what we are truly looking for. What we are truly looking for is moksha. We want the ultimate peace. We want to be in the state of moksha, because it will get rid of the process of life and death that we are subjected to. Anyone who attains moksha attains ultimate peace. He will not return in this world, and he will become one with the gods, and he will never have to suffer what a mortal has to suffer. Lord Sri Krishna says that desires will get us more hooked in this material world, and it will stop us from reaching moksha. What Sri Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita is that desires will hold you back from reaching moksha, because the more we desire, the more we get involved in this world, the more we are attached to this world. Just as an example, if you get a new car, you are more involved in this world, because now you will have to maintain that car. Just by getting that new car, you now want to visit places, you now want to travel in that car, you want to show off your car. So what happened? Because of the desire, you are now more involved in this world. If you didn't have that car, if you didn't have the desire to have the car, you wouldn't have got that car, and you wouldn't have wasted all this time traveling in that car. Now you do not have the time to attempt to reach moksha, because you are already consumed by your material desires. This is why Lord Sri Krishna says that desires are not good, they are a hindrance in your way to reach the state of moksha. Even if you fulfill your desires, you will not be satisfied. So let's say you did buy that car, you did travel, but have you ended your suffering? No. You are still suffering, you are still not at peace. You are still not happy. Why? Because you did not reach moksha. Anybody who has not reached moksha cannot be happy. And another effect of having desires is that if you do not acquire those desires, you will get angry. Let's say I wanted to buy that car, but now I cannot buy that car because I don't have enough money. Now I will be angry, I will be upset. Now this will also distract me from reaching moksha. Our objective or our dharma in this life is to reach moksha. And to reach moksha, we cannot have desires, because desires are distractions. Desires are the enemy. We should attempt to reach moksha. Another important lesson that Lord Sri Krishna gives us in the Bhagavad Gita is that even the love that we have for our family and friends is an obstacle in us reaching moksha. Because if we love our family too much, if we love our neighbors too much, if we love our children too much, we will not attempt to reach moksha. The love that we have for our family will stop us from going out, from detaching, from exploring further. Our families will keep us anchored to this world. We will not want to get out of this world, because the families will be a distraction. This is why it is said that reaching moksha is above your love for the family. You have a dharma to attain moksha. Love comes second. Now that we have understood the basics of Buddhism and the basics of Hinduism, we will try to understand how they are similar and how they are basically saying the same things. They are basically pointing at the same direction. They are not different. They say the things in a different way, but they are asking us to go in the same place. So Lord Buddha tells us in the second noble truth that our desires is what is keeping us in the state of suffering. If we do not have desires, we will not suffer. And Lord Sri Krishna also tells us that desires is what is stopping us from reaching moksha. So therefore essentially saying the same thing, that desire is bad, because the more we desire, the more we get stuck in this world. Only the cessation of desire will allow us to reach the next stage. Why do we desire in the first place? We desire because we think that if we attain things in this world, that we will attain ultimate peace. Even if we want to, even let's say there is a desire to buy a car. Why did that desire arise in the first place? Because we thought that by buying that car we will attain peace, that by buying that piece of furniture we will attain peace, that it will give us satisfaction. But it never does. Even if it does give us satisfaction, it is only for a very small period of time. It will not give us the ultimate peace that we are looking for. The ultimate peace can only be had when we attain moksha or nirvana. And this is exactly what Lord Sri Krishna and Buddha is telling us, that why did both Hinduism and Buddhism wanted us to reach moksha or nirvana in this lifetime? Because if we not reach moksha or nirvana in this lifetime, we'll be born again, and then we'll have to suffer once again. We have to attempt to reach the state of nirvana or moksha once again. So it is better for us if we reach nirvana in this lifetime itself. It will reduce the suffering, because we won't be born again. Being born is to be born is to suffer. So not being born is great. And the only way to not be born is to not have any desires, and is to attain the state of either moksha or nirvana, both of which are the same thing. What Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Buddha is telling us is that even if you attain the desires in this world, if you get what you wanted to get, you will not reach the state of peace that you are looking for. So don't desire and instead do what we are trying to do, what we are telling you to do. So Buddha is basically telling us to stop desiring and to live a good life so we can attain nirvana. And Lord Sri Krishna is basically telling us to stop desiring and to do our dharma, to do what is the right thing to do. So they are basically saying the same thing. Once again, Lord Buddha is saying that you should stop seeking peace in this world. Only when you die, and by you I mean your ego dies, will you attain nirvana. And Lord Krishna is also saying the same thing, because he is also telling you to stop having desires, because the only one who desires is the ego. There is no you without the ego. What they are both pointing at is that they both want you to destroy your ego and to reach the state where your ego dies. Nirvana and moksha is basically a state where the ego dies. It is the state of truth. It is the state where we, as we, do not exist. Our understanding of the self ceases to be. We are not there anymore. I am not a male. I am not my name. I am not my nationality. I am not what I think I am. I am not rich. I am not poor. I am not born in this country. When you reach moksha, everything will be, your conception of who you are will not be available. It will be deleted. It's like deleting the hard drive. Once you delete the hard drive, the computer doesn't know what's there. The computer just is, and that is the state of moksha or nirvana. So they are both saying the same thing, but they are saying it in different ways. Buddha tells us that there is suffering, that you are suffering because of your desires, that your desires are what is stopping you from attaining the ultimate peace, and the ultimate peace can be attained through nirvana, and that if you follow these 8 steps you can attain the ultimate peace or nirvana. And what Lord Krishna is telling us is that your desires are what is stopping you from attaining moksha. You should attain moksha, that is your dharma. And even if you think that this world is very important, you should not forget your dharma. That your dharma is more important than this world, than your love for this world, and it is your responsibility to attain moksha. So basically, they are telling us to attain the peace that we are truly looking for. The truth cannot be different. The truth can always be same. The truth has to be the same. So if 2 different personalities from 2 different religions have attained the ultimate truth, they cannot be different. If Buddha were to point us to a completely different direction than Krishna, it would be obvious that one of them is wrong, because how can truth be 2? Truth can only be one. There can only be one place where we can go and attain the truth. There is only one single way to attain the truth, and that is through the cessation of desire. That is through the understanding that desires will not give us what we truly seek. Desires is what stops us from killing the ego. So we should abandon all desires, except the desire to attain the truth or liberation or moksha or nirvana, and even that desire should be given up after a certain while. Both Lord Buddha and Lord Krishna truly loved us. This is why they left those books for us. They worked so hard, they did so much, they understood the mind, and they left these texts for us so that we do not have to relearn all these things that they have already learned. They wanted us to reach Godhood, they wanted us to be with them so that we can also attain peace, we can also attain liberation. They truly loved us, they cared for us, and that is why they want us to be one with them, to be one with the truth. And all I can say is I am very thankful to both these great religions for their teachings. And the fact that both these religions basically point to the same thing, point to the same truth, is even more evidence that both of them are correct, that both of them are coming from the same source. Both of them want us to reach the ultimate place. They want us to be liberated from the process of life and death. They want us to not reincarnate. That's it. Thank you. So this was a very complex video for me to make because the concepts discussed here are very difficult to grasp and my vocabulary is not that great. So I am sorry if I have repeated the same words over and over again, or if I have repeated the same ideas over and over again, just like right now. And I have tried to explain what I have understood to the best of my knowledge. If I made any mistakes, kindly let me know. And have a nice day. Thank you.